It's Monday, the 12th of December, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 big stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's jump into it. Story number 1 is a huge one. This will dominate much of the week, I reckon. The energy market is in uproar after the federal government announced plans to cap gas prices for the next 12 months, with some saying that the strategy is akin to nationalising the energy market.
Yes. Now, Federal Treasury says the plan will ensure that wholesale gas markets deliver adequate supply at reasonable prices. Not everyone agrees. There's a lot in this. The energy package includes an immediate cap on contracted gas and coal prices and a $1.5 billion worth of rebates to vulnerable Australians. Gas that's sold in the East Coast spot market or is uncontracted will also be subject to something called a reasonable price provision. That means producers can only charge a set amount above the cost of production. It doesn't take into account the billions of dollars already spent on exploration. The gas companies aren't happy about that one. The feds will also use the $20 billion Rewiring the Nation Fund to support the Queensland government's clean energy plan. It will also compensate New South Wales coal producers who are already locked into contract but won't be receiving the price they contracted, so they will be compensated for that. Now, Energy Minister Chris Bowen yesterday said the package will save businesses from going bankrupt and bring down household gas prices. Guess what? Gas producers aren't real happy. Be interesting to see what their share prices do today. Their argument is that they spend billions of dollars developing gas resources. Capping prices means there won't be future investment in the industry because returns will be harmed. Long term, that could mean more blackouts. Large manufacturers, like the users of gas, they're very happy. Anyway, this still has to get through Parliament. It's been recalled for Thursday this week. Coalition's against it, we know that. The Greens, well, Adam Bant, the leader, says the government shouldn't be compensating greedy coal companies. He said the Greens will oppose that compensation. It'll push for a windfall tax on energy companies. It'll want larger subsidies for households. Of course, these are starting positions. Who's really important in this? David Pocock, the senator from the ACT. His vote is crucial, hasn't made his mind up yet. We'll hear lots about it this week, Michael.
Yeah, we sure will. On to story number 2, and Sean, like every other Australian, I love talking about the property market, so I'm looking forward to this one. It was a busy weekend in the mortgage market, 2,667 homes going up for auction, but it really wasn't such a good outcome for sellers.
No, the preliminary auction clearance rate across the capital cities fell to 57.9%, according to CoreLogic, worst in 5 months, first time in a few months that it's been below 60%. Basically, interest rates are starting to bite. Potential buyers simply can't afford as much. If you go to Domain data, which isn't exactly apples and apples, but still, almost $300 million worth of homes were sold in Sydney, clearance rate of 60%, around $314 million of property in Melbourne from more auctions. Its clearance rate was 58%, Brisbane at 46%, Adelaide at 73%, and Canberra at 54%. One more weekend to go before this season wraps up with a whimper.
On to story number 3 now, and thousands of Telstra customers have had their private details published online in error, and the company has blamed what's described as a misalignment of databases, Sean.
Yes, I suppose the important thing here is it isn't a cyber breach. That's good news. Doesn't say much for Telstra's processes, though. The names, phone numbers and addresses of more than 130,000 Telstra customers were wrongly made available online. Telstra CFO Michael Ackland said there'd been a misalignment of databases used to provide services and the telco is undertaking an internal investigation. Did you know, Michael, about a third of data breaches are human error, 4% are systems faults, and about 63% are malicious. So there are a lot of data breaches which just occurs because people make mistakes or the systems don't work.
I did not know that. That's actually more than I suspected.
It's interesting.
On to story number 4 now, Sean. There are plenty of do-it-yourself super funds out there. There's more than 500,000 of them, actually. The general rule of thumb has been that if you have $500,000 in super and you know how, then running your own fund makes sense. But that advice has changed.
Yes, the Australian Securities and Investment Commission has dumped guidance that self-managed super funds should have $500,000 to be competitive. It doesn't actually say how much they should have, though the Self-Managed Super Fund Association, which of course wants people to have SMSFs, reckons it could be as low as $200,000 following a study by the University of Adelaide. All true. My bit of advice is make sure you know what you're getting into and know what you're doing before starting one.
Yeah, good advice, Sean. Story number 5, the Australian cricket team, of course, had a big victory over the West Indies yesterday. And off the field, US giant Paramount, which owns Network 10, has offered Australian cricket about $1.5 billion to secure the rights to test matches and the Big Bash.
Yes, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, it's not quite a done deal with Cricket Australia, still talking to incumbent partners Foxtel and Seven, but that's $1.5 billion over 7 years. That's a lot of money. Paramount and the sport are currently in the process of finalising a long-form contract, which means they are close to a deal. Nine was in talks, but didn't come close to the dollar figures Cricket Australia wanted.
Okay, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Monday, the 12th of December, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. And with that, we also have interviews. Today, we're speaking with Elise Kennedy from Jarden, all about tech stocks, the ones she has liked this year, the ones she hasn't liked, and why. It's a great chat. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.